So, the name of the movie is Sully. The Tom is Hanks.
Yes. And director is Eastwood.
Clint
Of the Clint.
Eastwood. We just got out of Sully, which is not a spin-off of Monsters Incorporated.
Oh, what?
I was very disappointed to find that out.
Darn it.
I know.
I didn't take any notes.
He didn't take any notes.
Which, but I'm gonna say a little side note here. I like when I don't take notes because that means I'm kind of just enjoying the movie a lot.
That's good.
I mean, if I really like it, I'll take notes. If I dislike it, I'll take notes.
That's really the thing I don't like most about doing these videos, is taking notes, because then you can't just like take it in.
Yeah, you can't
and enjoy it. You got to think of things to say.
But with this movie, I did just enjoy it.
That's good. Since you don't have much to say, I'm going to let you go into your spiel, but let me turn around the right way first. It's coming. There we go.
Like the only bad thing I could really say about this is, like, I guess the pacing was kind of just all over the place. Like, it just, like, you seemed like you were just going back to the crash like many times throughout the film. And I mean, that wasn't bad. Like, this is like the only nitpick I kind of have.
Yeah. I thought that was the most interesting part, like all the different perspectives they showed. That's something with all of Clint Eastwood's movies, is I don't know why. Like, I don't know if he just made so many movies back in the 70s and 80s and, you know, his heyday. 60s.
You know,
pretty much the entire existence of film. 1915.
this whole century,
1902.
Really.
But his editing is very weak, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's not the editor's fault, because it's in every single movie. I think it's just how he likes to edit movies. It's done in a very harsh way, and which is kind of why I think he's kind of, for lack of a better word, stuck in the 70s and whatnot, because it was just, they were very limited in how they could edit back then. So it's just like smash cut, and the transitions were not that good. So there were some parts that were like just jarring, that and there were flashbacks that lasted so long that you forgot they were flashbacks.
Yeah, that happened a lot.
Like, there's one part where he's on the phone with his wife, and he's just like, oh, it's my whole life. And then they go into a flashback, and then they go into the first sequence with the crash, and then 15 minutes later they go back and they have like a 2-sentence dialogue.
You couldn't even remember that they were on the phone. You're like,
yeah,
wait,
I was just like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's just, I feel, that's really my only nitpick with him.
Yeah.
Oh, one of my 2 nitpicks. His choice in music just is
always
not good.
Not the best.
It's not that the songs are bad, they just don't fit. They're his movies, he can do what he wants with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really care that much, but it's just something that takes me out of it.
Literal just little nitpicks. Other than that, I just really enjoyed this movie and was just trying to watch it. Everybody's performance was pretty good.
Oh yeah, there are some parts that were really campy.
Yeah.
Another thing that Clint Eastwood does, he does really campy parts. Again, it's what he wants to do.
It's
whatever.
Whatever, Clint. Just do your thing. So,
I felt Laura Linney was really underutilized.
Yeah.
She played Sully's wife, and she was great, but she was just like on the phone crying the entire time. And
not saying that's not what she did.
You could tell that she was just acting to a phone.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of Laura Linney. I think she can do a lot better than that. It was a really intense movie. Like, when they went to the sequences with the water landing, not a crash, a water landing, forced water landing.
We landed on the river, not in it.
On, not in.
Thank you, Aaron Eckhart.
They were really intense. Like, again, we were in recliner seats because that's the new thing. So I wasn't at the edge of my seat, but I was just like,
we were getting sunk into it. But I mean, yeah, this movie is definitely intense. For lack of better words, it was kind of badass in some ways.
Oh yeah,
it definitely felt like it.
The thing that surprised me is everyone that played the passengers, they were actually pretty good. Like, I completely believe that they were in this situation and not just, and they weren't really, I mean, I've recognized a few of them, but I don't know any of their names.
Yeah.
So they weren't terribly big actors.
One of my favorite parts of the whole movie is, since Clint Eastwood did direct the movie, there's a scene where Tom Hanks is jogging in Times Square, and you look to the side there, and there's an ad for Gran Torino. I was like, oh.
What?
Is that Gran Torino?
But didn't he direct that movie?
Subtlety. Look at that. What's that thing?
I mean, it did happen around when that movie was
Yeah,
out,
which
so.
I just thought it was funny. I was like, wow. Look at you, Clint.
Tom Hanks was really good. There's this one part where he has a complete mic drop moment, and I
Yeah.
even dropped as soon as
He
that
turned
happened.
to me and said,
I dropped my pen as if it were a microphone. So yeah, it was a overall pretty decent movie, not without its problems.
yeah, definitely turned out better than I thought it was going to, which is always okay in my book.
Yeah.
Above average.
I
for
had
me.
I had a
liked
few
it.
technical problems with it, but
But
those are things that are kind
happens.
of wrong with all of Clint Eastwood's movies.
That happens.
And again, that's probably just his style. I'm not a huge fan of his style,
Yeah.
but yeah,
But what would you give this movie?
I would give this movie a 6.5 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah, not quite a 7, not quite a 6. So 6.5.
You know what I would give it? I'd give it quite a 7.
Quite a 7.
I'm actually above Mike on this one.
Yeah,
Instead of the last couple weeks, I've been a little harsh, but this I'll give it a 7.
that's because they were movies you were excited for.
Yeah.
Well, not last week.
This one I was kind of just so.
Yeah, all my problems were just technical. It's a good story. Everyone knows the story.
Yeah. But
Really campy in some parts. That's probably why. There were some parts
That
that were
half
just
point.
so campy that it was just cringe.
what was? Oh, it was the one newscaster was like, the water's 36 degrees, and the wind chill -5. These passengers have literally minutes to live.
That was the,
That
they
was
showed
just
them.
so
They showed
stupid.
the media sensationalism really well.
But hey. But hey. If you look over there. 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 That's gonna be last week's video, which we recorded to Florence Foster Jenkins and
Anthropoid.
Pretty.
We'll find out what we think.
Go check out that double feature now. And on this side, I believe it's this side now. I don't even know what direction I was pointing.
Yeah,
so
you're-
go on this side now. This here, we talked about freaking Gene Wilder.
Come with me,
And
you'll see there's a world of pure imagination. And below our faces is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
That's where the imagination really shines, down there, because it's social media. Just
Below that is the like, dislike button, comment,
and
or subscribe. And below that is
Is
the
the
comment
comment
section.
section.
If you've seen Sully, tell us what you thought.
You know, you just heard what we thought, so let us
Tell us
know
what
what
you
you thought.